Tour Junkies.
What's going on, golf addicts? DB of the Tour Junkies here. I got Pat Perry, my boy. We're the Tour Junkies. It's the Arnold Palmer Invitational 2022, and I am pumped. We're coming off another winner. Shout out to Pat Perry, 140-1 Sepp Straka.
Woo!
Woo! Pat, how you feeling, baby?
Man, I'm feeling good. Sepp Straka,
God damn.
140-1.
Straka
dog. You know, it's like you said, this is the year of the dog. We hit Hudson Swafford already. We get that natty.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something.
Matt Stafford gets the Super Bowl ring.
Yes, just been a great year. But, you know, there are a lot of dogs on tour. So, I mean, the odds are that they're going to show up. That's just what's going to happen.
Dude, props to you. That's your sixth outright of the season. There have been 18 events, okay? Sixth outright of the season. I have 3. We have half of the tournaments. One of us is getting it. I mean, this is probably not going to keep going. So, I mean, everybody, we need to set level expectations here. We got a lot of new listeners, a lot of new followers here in the last few weeks. It's golf betting. It's wild. It's crazy. You got to have thick skin for this stuff. You lose more than you win, except for these first 18 events of the season for us, which I'm pumped about. One of the tools that helps us win is our friends at covers.com, because winning starts at covers.com. And, you know, it's where you go to start your betting process. The show tonight is presented to you by Covers. And listen, it's got everything you need. It's got NBA stuff. It's got NHL stuff. If they ever start to play baseball again, it's got some of that. Obviously, so there's some golf content over there, and it's about to get a lot better. Up-to-the-minute odd screens, free betting contests, expert analysis over all the games. A lot of stuff is free. There's a forum with over 500,000 members. You can get in there and mix it up. Covers serves over 20 million sports bettors annually, and they've been doing it for 25 years. They've been around a long time. This is not some fly-by-night startup operation, okay? They know what they're doing. And it's also the only place you can get the exclusive piece of content from us, our favorite head-to-heads, our favorite top 20s. It's a free, about a 4 or 5 minute read over on covers.com. You can check that out. It's free. You don't have to join. You don't have to do anything. So we appreciate Covers. Great website. Pat, tonight I'm mixing it up on you a little bit. The podcast juice. I've just poured myself, I don't know why I did this, but just poured myself a lovely Guinness.
Oh, that looks excellent.
Doesn't this look good?
Yeah. Do it. Good sip and get some on your nose. Get a little of that foam on your nose. Yeah.
I didn't get on my nose, but
yeah, didn't stay there. That looks delicious.
Good stuff. What you got?
I have so, you know, as you can tell, I got my Bulldog shirt on tonight. Yes. I know it's got stripes. Producer Sam doesn't like stripes. Sorry, Producer Sam. I needed the Bulldog theme tonight. But I am drinking from Creature Comforts Brewing Company out of Athens, Georgia. Yes. A little Classic City lager. If anybody doesn't know, Athens is little nickname is the Classic City, and this is a pretty good lager right here from Creature Comforts. So
yeah, love Creature Comforts. The Tropicalia is one of my favorites.
Tropicalia is really good.
Hey, listen, if you're in the chat, if you're watching live, hit the thumbs up button. Go ahead and subscribe if you're on YouTube. It's been a great week, Pat. We're off to a great start. I mean, the Sepp Straka hit was just so beautiful, man. I mean, to think Berger up by 5 shots was going to cough that one up. And, you know, you talked about him on the podcast. You talked about him on the DraftKings After Dark show, and obviously he was on your card. And we mentioned him in the Nut Hut the night before. He was in the 10 facts that I'm sure Ben Little would love to talk about. He was in the 10 facts. Mm-hmm. You know, it was a good week, man. It was a great week. I'm excited about this week, though. We've got a really good field for the Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill. We're going to get into that in a little bit. Just a couple housekeeping notes for the week. There is a DP World Tour event this week. It's the Magical Kenya Open. I don't know.
What makes it magical?
It's magical, Pat. It's just magic, buddy.
Is there a Disney World in Kenya?
I don't know. Disney over Kenya. I mean, my wife just went to Kenya in the fall. I don't believe she saw. I'm pretty sure she didn't see Disney World.
I don't know why. You know, whenever I hear the word magical, I immediately think of something Disney related.
100%. Well, I mean, good job. They've done a good job marketing that to you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, Mark Hill is back. So subscribe to the DP World Tour Junkies podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Check it out here on our YouTube channel. We'll have that going for you. And if maybe the people have noticed, maybe they haven't. This is DB's first day officially as full-time Tour Junkies, and I've already been pumping out some content. So you need to
Yeah.
know what's going on. I dropped a little live odds reaction on YouTube this morning. I possibly might do that every Monday. Just as soon as the odds hit, I'm not going to look at them. I'm going to turn the camera on and go, and we'll just have a conversation about it. See what we think. A couple of interesting names in there I threw out that I'm looking forward to talking with you about tonight, Pat. Um,
I
but there,
didn't watch. I watched the beginning, but then when you started really getting into it,
yeah,
I didn't really want to
good,
because that doesn't give me a good.
good.
I
I
don't
like
want to
that.
know what you're thinking.
Way to stay committed. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like that's good.
yeah.
Good for you. Um, Also, I did an extensive course breakdown. So one change up to the Tour Junkies podcast moving forward is after 7 years, Pat is not going to do the weekly course breakdown here this year, and it's not because he didn't do a great, fantastic job, in his words.
Mm.
Um, but it's just because it's content we can get out earlier in the week, and people that want to start their process earlier, we're going to try to get it out Monday morning at the latest. This time we got it out Sunday. um, but it's going to be good. It's on the YouTube channel. It's also on the podcast feed. I'm going to try to knock that out in like 10 to 12 minutes a week and just give you exactly what you need. Nothing more, nothing more, nothing less, just what you need. Okay, stats, trends, information about the course, features, um, some player quotes, all that good stuff. So go ahead and check that out if you want that information. That's there. We're not going to give it to you tonight. We're going to get straight into the picks here in just a minute. So that's something you need to be on the lookout for. Coming tomorrow, every Tuesday in the afternoon, I'm going to drop some head-to-head information on you people. All right, I'm going to go through the head-to-head lines, and I'm going to talk through some head-to-head numbers that I like. Some matchup bets. Might talk a little bit on the props or top 20 side maybe, but probably just stick to head-to-heads. I'm looking forward to that. I love looking at head-to-head lines, and not just the ones that I think. Actually, if you're a DFS player, you need to pay attention to this. Not just the head-to-head lines from a betting perspective, but also what do they tell us about players on DraftKings? Is there a head-to-head line where a player projected at 20% in GPPs or 25% in GPPs is a coin toss, or maybe he's a dog to somebody who's at 10% or not getting a lot of love? That could speak to some leverage there, leverage opportunity. Maybe we'll see a little line movement as well by the time that comes out. So that should be fun. The only other thing we need to hit up this week, Pat, before we get into the picks, is the live golf event in September in Pennsylvania. The first ever Tour Junkies live golf event. We talked about it. We announced it a few weeks ago. We talked about it
Mhm.
last week. We opened it up for ticket sales last week, but we opened it up strictly to Nut Hut members only. We said that was only going to go a week. I think we're going to go one more week. We've decided that we're going to go one more week where the only way you can buy a ticket to this first ever live golf event in September with me and Pat, all the Tour Junkies family, it's going to be bananas. Okay. The only way you can buy that ticket now for the next week is through the Nut Hut. You have to be a member, a VIP member of the Nut Hut. We've already had some great sales. In fact, the Friday event is the first event of the weekend. It's the Ryder Cup style Team DB versus Team Pat. Right now, Pat, you got to recruit some guys. Is there anything you need to say, or do you want to? I mean, my team
Look.
is
I
looking
mean,
strong.
we got. I will say this: a little teaser here. We got a very good recruit this evening, a very good one, and
Did you?
I'm pretty excited about it. I don't even think you know yet.
Hmm.
If you went into the chat, you would know. Um,
I was in the chat today. In fact, I saw some LPGA chat that was
were you
interesting.
in there this evening though?
Yeah, I was. I was in there this evening. Yes.
Okay, well, there was a big announcement and a great video that you should
Uh,
probably watch. Maybe you could watch it live on the show. I don't know. It's a long one though. So,
no.
but I got a really good team member today, an anchor, if you will,
I know who you got.
and so I'm pretty excited about that. And
You
I
got
think
Kistler, didn't you? You got Kistler, didn't you?
I I may have gotten Kistler. And I think it's kind of like when you get Kistler on your team. Kistler's been a long time Tour Junkies fan, not just of me, not just of me, DB. I mean, both of us.
Mhm.
But I think the floodgates are now open. The floodgates are now open for Team Pat. And I feel like now Team DB needs to go a little bit. I mean, you're on the defensive now. You're on the defensive. I am on the offense. we have some really good players on the team, and I'd like to say I'm concerned about your team, but I'm really not. I'm not really concerned. I'm only concerned about Team Pat, and pretty excited about what's going on right now.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's only let's see. I think there are maybe 3 spots, 4 spots left on Team DB, maybe 5 or 6 left on Team Pat for now. So if you're gonna wanna
We're
get in on
all,
that,
we're about quality,
yeah.
not just quantity.
No, I mean, I get that. I mean, but the Friday event's gonna be a limited situation.
Yeah,
So, that event is gonna be real that one's gonna be real chaotic. But I'm excited about it. September 23rd, 24th, you need to go ahead and get it on the calendar. If you wanna get in on that and join the Nut Hut, you need to. I'll put the well, no, I can't do that yet. So, 1 more week, Nut Hut members only can buy a ticket. That's it. After next week, we're opening it up to the public. Bing, bang, boom. All right, I think that's it for announcements. Anything else I'm forgetting? Anything? Do we know?
Fantasy Golf Sommelier. Don't forget Tuesday night, or well, comes out Wednesday. We got Prize Picks. So
Yeah.
anyway,
We'll talk prize picks here in just a minute as well. Um, you know, I gave actually, oh no, I knew there was something else I was forgetting. Next week for the players. Players is gonna be a big week,
yeah,
right? Huge week, biggest week of the year so far. The players championship. I'm thrilled to say that I will be in person with Pat at Pat's house doing the show. We're going to do the show together in some strange setup up there where Pat is now. We're not sure exactly how that's going to look. It's probably not going to be fantastic, but we're going to have a fun podcast, me and Pat in person, in the flesh, breaking down the Players Championship. It's going to be beautiful. I will be making my way down to Ponte Vedra Beach. I'll be at the Players Championship on Tuesday and Wednesday. If you're out there, holler at me. Um, I'll be getting some dirt on the players, on the course, on conditions, all that stuff. Be reporting all that back to the Nut Hut, and it's going to be a good time. I can't wait. I love the Players Championship. I love
yeah,
going down there, even for the practice rounds. It's just a blast. Um, so catch us down there and catch us at Pat's house on Monday night. That
yeah.
show,
We got to have a good setup. I'm a little concerned about the setup here.
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it
Yeah,
out. Although me and Sam did say that this is the TDN. This is the Technical Difficulties Network. So if we have some of that, that's perfectly fine. Um, and yes, Caridi's in the chat, meaning yes, that means late night Instagram live stories from Tour Junkies. No,
oh goodness.
no,
Yeah.
that was bad. We should never have
Yeah.
done that.
Yeah. That. Yeah.
If anything, it means late night Nut Hut only stories. That way, they're not, publicly too publicly broadcasted out there.
Yeah.
So
And then and then AC comes in and protects us later and just deletes it all.
yes, yes.
So,
Also on next week's show, we're going to have a game of Nut Up or Shut Up. That's coming back for the second time in 2022. I've got my contestant, teed up already. It's going to be exciting. Pat's going to host that along with producer Sam. And we're giving away a Fujikura Ventus TR shaft. We've been talking about Fujikura for a while now. The new Ventus TR shaft, first introduced on the PGA Tour at the Amex, was banging. That was like I mean, they crushed. Hoagie won it. Hoagie won with it at Pebble Beach, along with the Spieth and Hostler, who finished second and third. It's the number one driver fairway hybrid shaft on the PGA Tour right now. They're crushing it. The TR is a new mid-launch, low profile, new material added for additional stability to help you out if you spray it a lot, if you're a sprayer. TR is an addition to the Ventus line that already existed. Scotty Scheffler won with the Ventus Black in the driver. He switched in the last few weeks. He's killing it off the tee. We might talk about him tonight. Fujikura Ventus shaft is killing it. All right. They're like averaging 38% of the whole field is using a Ventus shaft. So it's available for $350 MSRP. You can buy it online or through custom fittings at any charter dealer right now. So if you're going to go get a driver, go get fit. Even if you suck, go get fit. But before you go, make sure that they sell Fujikura shafts. Pat, you ready for this?
yeah.
You ready for this? All right.
It's kind of
Let's.
weird not having to, roll into the course breakdown like I
Oh
normally
man, I
do.
know, man. It's a whole new world, but it gives us so much more time for activities.
Yeah, and it saves my voice.
Saves your voice. That's why
Saves
we
my
did
voice.
it.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yep.
Look, man, we're here for
How's
you.
that Guinness?
God, it's
How
delicious.
is the canned Guinness versus the like an actual like
I, I mean,
Guinness from a good now Guinness is like it's like the most variable beer out there. I feel like it's like a golfer. Like
no.
you can get a Guinness
Yeah,
in some places and it really sucks. And you can get a Guinness out of a can and it's actually decent. You and I have actually never been to like, over there where they make Guinness, where it would be
yeah,
really good, like in Scotland and Ireland and stuff.
mhm,
I bet
yeah,
it's really good over there. But
yeah,
anyway.
yeah, we're gonna go in June, so we'll
Mhm.
we'll find out, and I'm sure it's way better. I think the variance comes from who's pouring it, because there's so many different ways you pour it, right? Um, Now I do prefer it on tap, but at home, I have my can, and I have a pour method. I've actually tested about 3 or 4 different pour methods that I've found on YouTube, and I have one that I actually like the most. So, I'm going with it, and it's delicious right now. I'm loving it.
Okay.
I like a good Guinness. Why did I say that? All right, here we go. Top of the betting board, up to 25 to 1, Pat. Bryson has withdrawn. He's hurt still.
Poor
He's
Bryson.
like 90%, not 100%. He doesn't wanna go out there, hates to disappoint his high school buddies that live with him, I mean, his fans and all that good stuff, but he's out. He's withdrawing, so we won't be seeing the big, you know, the big tee shot off the number 6, cutting the corner, all that good stuff. I did play this golf course in the fall. This is a terrible golf course. I mean, it just
You
I
keep saying that. I've heard that on the course preview. You mentioned it, I
yeah,
believe, even at the start of the live odds look. And
yeah. I
why
just
do you hate it so much?
Because it's so not memorable. There's nothing that number 6 is memorable only because of last year. Literally, that's it. That's the only thing. You come up to the tee and you look back at the pro tees and you look and the caddy tells you the line that he hit it on, and you just go, "Holy crap." Like, dang. And then you aim 140 yards right of that and you hit your ball. 18 is the only memorable hole to me. That it's a tough hole, that big force
Yeah,
carry, and then when
yeah.
you're standing on the green, all the curve of that green, and when you're standing on it, you're looking back, you see the Bay Hill sign. Yeah, that's it. Like, other than that, it's just a totally boring Florida golf course. If you took away all the Arnie stuff and all the stuff that's around it, it's just so boring. Now, I loved all the Arnie stuff, loved it. I walked through there and looked at everything, it was so cool, but it's just a regular Florida course. It really is. But here we go. Here we are. Top of the betting board. John Rahm's your favorite, 7.5 to 1 on DraftKings. He's like 8 to 1 a couple other places. A lot of these numbers obviously shortened a little bit when Bryson withdrew. Victor Hovland was around 20 to 22, maybe even in some places. He's dropped to 18 to 1. You got Sung Jae, Will Zalatoris, Hideki, Fitzpatrick. Those are the names rounding out these kind of the top of the board. If you're listening to us and you got deep pockets, and you want to pay up for a favorite, because I will say that this is not a tournament that's returned a whole lot of long shots to us in recent years. Mark Leishman at 100 to 1 is the only one that we've really had in the last 5 or 6 years. I mean, for the most part, it's been short numbers. Bryson, Rory, Jason Day when he was good, Ricky when he was good. So, Francesco Molinari, I think, might have been one of the longer ones, maybe even Terrell Hatton at like 35, 40, but it doesn't really get out of that range.
No,
So,
it doesn't. I mean, well, also when you have Tiger winning this thing like
8
7 or
times.
8 times, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's true. Oh,
that
oh, okay. I said this on the preview show. What do you think's more impressive? Tiger Woods winning this thing 8 times, or Matt Every winning it twice?
certainly Matt Every winning
It's
it
gotta
twice.
be Matt Every, right?
Yeah.
That's like Martin Traynor winning this thing twice.
I mean,
Winning
it's
to Puerto Rico
crazy.
this week twice.
It's nuts.
It
I
really
don't
is
even
impressive.
understand how that happens.
Um, you know what I forgot, Pat? God dang it, before we get into this, it's your birthday tomorrow, buddy. Happy birthday.
Yes.
Happy
I actually forgot.
birthday.
I forgot
Gosh
about that.
dang, everybody, it's Pat's birthday tomorrow.
It's
Pat,
not
tell him how old you're gonna be.
No. I'm not gonna tell anybody how old I'm gonna be. I'm
Uh,
gonna pour a beer right now, but
I'll give
yeah,
everybody a hint later. It's coming later.
it's
But,
yeah, tomorrow is my birthday. I didn't really think we would do any celebrating of that tonight, but
well, I tried to make some things happen, some special things happen for you, but I gotta be honest, nobody would return my phone call. So I don't know.
that's just
That's
I
probably
no.
bad. That's probably on me. That's on me. I'm sorry.
I
I I
mean,
I do want the people to comment on YouTube because we know the comments help us out. So if you want to give Pat a little birthday gift, comment on the YouTube right now. What's your favorite thing about Pat? Your favorite thing about Pat Perry? What is it? He loves verbal affirmation. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
In
yeah.
this case,
Who
it's
wouldn't?
written. Just give it to him. Okay. Put it in
Mhm.
the comments on YouTube. If you're watching live, wait till the show's over, then put it in the comments. Okay.
Some
Anyway,
some way some way, somehow, some of these folks will make comments that, is verbal affirmation that in a way is actually not positive, but that's okay. That's okay.
no, no, truly your favorite thing about Pat, okay? Put that in the comment. Gosh dang, happy birthday, buddy. It's been great. Also we should wish DirecTV Perry, your twin brother, happy birthday. Chris,
Yes,
love you,
yes.
man.
I was born first, though.
Pat was born first, so here we go. I'm excited to see you next week, and we'll celebrate your birthday. Maybe we'll get deep into the podcast use next week and for your birthday.
Oh, I'm planning on it,
Okay.
planning on it.
All right, back to the betting board. Anybody
Okay.
up here in the 25 up to 25 to 1 range? Oh, look at David Speaks in the chat. Throwing out $100 in the super chat. The guy keeps winning bets, so
He
he should.
does.
Now that's happy birthday. Where's the money for continuing to just win all the money? I'm just kidding. I keep shaking down David Speaks every week. Thank you, man. We appreciate that. We'll make sure Pat gets it too. All right, Pat.
This is all right, so top of the board here, there's not anything I really love, obviously, always a huge fan of Rory, but I don't wanna take him at 10 to 1. 2 guys, though, that I think are worth playing here. I think Sung J M coming off of that, I know he's coming off of a miscut, and everybody hates him right now, but at 22 to 1, I like the number for him there. He's played this tournament well in the past, and he was really playing pretty well up until the miscut last week. But at this tournament, he had two straight T3s in 2019 and 2020. Actually, in 2020, it was solo third. T21 last year. This is a good course for Sung Jae. Just like last week was a good course for Sung Jae, which he won on, and he just had kind of a bad week. So I think Sung Jae at 22 to 1 is interesting. Another guy as well that I like is Hideki at 25 to 1. I think Hideki at 25 to 1 is a good number there for him. Obviously has had a good year. Um, I think he hasn't been great historically on this course. Now he makes a lot of cuts here.
He's never missed a cut here
Yeah, so yeah, never miss a cut.
in 7 tries. So
Um,
I'm in agreement with you here on
but
Hideki.
he does not have, T18 last year was his best finish. Still, 25 to 1 Hideki, I like. So those two right there, Decky, Sun JM, I like both of those.
I like it. All right, so to piggyback on Hideki, I looked at how all right, so why has he not played well here? Because it seems like it should be a place that he has played well. Well, he's killed it tee to green. I mean, absolutely killed it tee to green at Bay Hill. But he has some putting performances here that are even bad for Hideki. Like lost 6 strokes putting in 2020, lost over 8 in 2019. In 2015, lost 4.5 and still finished top 25. I just think, and if you look historically at Hideki, he average loses almost a stroke, per round almost on or per tournament on the greens. But lately, in the last, few events, he's gaining. Gained 7 at the Sony when he won. Gained 3.5 at Scottsdale. Gained 1 at the Genesis. Like, and we don't even have to be gaining Hideki. We can just be, 0 or just not 5, and you'll be fine. The ball striking is there. I agree with you. I saw the 25 to 1 on Hideki, and there's a few of these guys that are 25 to 1, and I thought, yep, I like that. I like that a lot.
Mhm.
So he's one for me. I saw some early chatter on Twitter about Hovland, but I would rather take Scotty Scheffler in that if I were gonna, kind of like make myself choose one or the other here, I think I'd just rather take Scotty. And I think primarily because I trust I trust the around the green play a little bit more, even though I know Victor's improved. I trust that to get him out of trouble on a golf course that's difficult. This is one of the most difficult courses on the PGA Tour rotation. Um, So I don't know. I think I just lean more towards Scotty at that 16-1 number. He's only played here once in 2020, finished 15th. Victor's played here 3 times. His best finish is 40th. And he's actually gotten worse. He 40th in 2019, 42nd in 2020, 49th last year. So I don't know. I just think Scotty is also in obviously killer form coming off the win at Scottsdale. And I just like where the complete package is, especially around the greens to save him and get him out of trouble a little bit if he needs it. So Scheffler and Decky for me.
Yeah, I don't mind Scheffler either. I mean, I think this is just a year for him. I mean, we thought we were going to get a little bit of it last year, but the floodgates may have opened a little bit with him winning it at Waste Management. So
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Scheffler this week.
Okay. Let's move it on down. This is going to be a key range as it usually is for us, but especially on a week where, like I said, you don't really see a lot of the long shots, like triple digit guys get in there and do it. One of these guys in here, his odds are equivalent to how old Pat is turning tomorrow. He's one of my favorites. Maybe you'll figure it out.
Oh gosh, why do
As we,
you have to do? Why do you're
what? 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 What?
you're
What?
such an ageist.
No, I'm not an ageist. I want
Yes,
people.
you are. You're an ageist.
No, I'm not. I thought, by the way, speaking of Sung Jae, what'd you say you had Sung Jae at? Because I thought I just saw him at a better number.
I saw 22-1.
He's at, I'm seeing 27 at FanDuel. I was wondering why I didn't have him. And that could be wrong for now.
I don't even see one of my guys on here. Was he on the last slide? He couldn't have been on the last slide.
Who? Go ahead and tell it.
Willie Z. Zalatoris, 30-1.
Yeah, 30-1. I see him on points bet, 30-1.
I
Love
think
that.
he's
Love
on
that play. I'm all over that. I think
Oh, he's 25-1 on DK. That's why he's not up here.
yeah. 30-1 on points bet. That's the best number on Willie Z. I'm total agreement with you. I mean, the long irons from Willie Z are incredible. That's going to be important this week. Very important this week. That's the thing about number 6, like the drive that Bryson hit. Yes, it's very impressive. The real advantage is that he doesn't have to worry about all that water on the left as he approaches that green that slopes right to left. I mean, when I played that hole, I played the course twice, and both times I hit it in the fairway. Did all right, had it in the fairway, had like 200, 225 in. That is a scary 200-yard, 225-yard shot,
I can imagine.
to bail out. You're going to snap hook it left in the water. It's water all the way down the left side. Anyway, I like Willie Z here a lot. I agree with you there at 30-1. One of my favorites here, though, is Keith Mitchell. Like,
Yeah.
everybody was all over Keith Mitchell last week at 30-1 or 34-1. It was a weak field. But I mean, dude, Pat Mayo calls him Killer Keith because he's a killer. Like he ain't
He's been
afraid.
playing really well.
He is playing lights out, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of Pat Mayo, I'll be on his show this week. Check that out. Going on tomorrow. The DraftKings preview. Keith Mitchell at 45-1, I think is money, and I think you got to grab that very quickly. I've already gotten a piece of it. The form is great. The putting has been solid on these Florida Bermuda greens. This is where he's comfortable. I love Keith Mitchell here. Definitely my favorite number at 45.
Okay. I don't know why you're focusing on the number 45. But
Guinness.
I don't mind Keith Mitchell there at 45-1. Another guy I like, I'm going to go 2 here, and then maybe I'll flip it back to you. Mark Leishman. Mark
There's a lot
Leishman
of agreement on this right now.
is
I
right
love
around
Mark Leishman.
35-1,
Mhm.
33-1.
Playing good.
Playing well. The stats check out for him. He's got a good course history here. So I think, you look at par 5 scoring is one of the stats that I like. He's top 20 there. I think, again, like last week, you look a little bit at bogey avoidance. This is a very tough golf course. He's top 15 in the field in strokes gained putting on Bermuda grass. So I like Leishman there right around 35-1 if you can get him there, 33-1, somewhere around in there. I'm going to go back on Seabez this week, okay? Going back in on Seabez. He had a pretty bad round, I believe, on Saturday, which was the toughest day at the Honda, but played really well on Sunday last week. I think, you're getting him again at 55-1. He's also got some pretty good course history here. Um, he is, hang on, let me give you a little history on. He finished top 10 last year, T18 in 2020. So going back to him, go back to Seabez there at 55 to 1.
Okay, when I was starting to do the research, I saw Seabass, and I was like, "Oh, hey there, Seabass. What's up, dog? How you doing, man? Oh yeah,
Mm.
you had the rat poison thing, and you got you got some damage as a result. That stinks, man. But can you win? And I don't know. I don't know. Like as I started to write him down because I'm like, oh, here he
Well,
is again. Here's
you're
Seabass.
always the one that says they can't win until they win.
I know.
They
But
can't win
Seabass doesn't feel like that guy. Like, he's not been around that long. Like, we've just kinda he started to become the shiny object here, right? And he's a solid player. Like, that's the thing about guys like this. Like, he's a solid player across the board. He doesn't suck at anything, but he's also not great at anything. And, like, he doesn't have something about his game that's just dominant consistently over and over again. And so then all that needs to happen is the one thing that's kind of constantly giving him problems, his little bugaboo, you know, all of a sudden he finds a magic bean and Wiener pop, here we go. And now his bugaboo's, good. And so then he wins. Like, but he's just kind of average at everything. And so he's never gonna, I'm wondering if he's ever gonna win. Could you win money on him betting top 20s, top 40s if you want to do that?
Well,
Head to
if you
heads?
want
Yeah.
it, I think that's an important point too. Some of these plays, because we're giving you all outrights right now,
Mhm.
doesn't mean if you can find what you think is a good number as a top 10 or a top 20 on a lot of these guys, not the shorter ones, but even Seabez is 6 to 1 as a top 10. You know, you put a decent amount of money on that. I like it as a top 10. So maybe you
He's
don't like the outright.
He's South African, right? And he won he's won twice worldwide, and he won I remember that, he won back-to-back weeks in
Hmm.
2020. He won the South African Open and the Alfred Dunhill. Alfred Dunhill, way more impressive. South African Open, like, the South Africans dominate that thing, like, they just dominate it. But he's never won since then. He's had some top, fives. Actually, no, he hasn't. He had a top five of the BMW PGA of the European Tour event. That's it. That's the only other top five he's ever sniffed. He does have a seventh place finish here, but last year, 2021. I don't know, man. I
I
started to
mean,
click it, and I was
Straka
like,
just
I can't.
won last week. Yes,
Straka's one of those guys that, like, he's a bomber. He dominates off
yeah,
the tee. The iron play can get nuclear hot. He just needs to have one of those weeks where he makes some putts, right?
yeah.
I don't know.
Speaking of bomber, that drive he hit on 18, my
Was
goodness.
Speaking of that, he
He
really
did get, I will say, I'm not gonna. I think Shane Lowry was being a little bit of a bitch. Okay, about
yeah.
about what happened to him in that on that last hole. But you you have to agree that Straka got a little bit more luck than Lowry did at the end there. But that's golf. That happens. That happens.
The guys that know laying up say that's the rub of the green. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Um, all right, where are we?
We're in the
We you
26 to
we got off
1.
on the Seabass
Yeah.
conversation.
We're up to 75 to 1. We're
Okay,
still in that range.
I love this range, so we're gonna give you more names in here.
And I got a couple more too.
I mean, Kokrak at 50 to 1. You're
Yes.
talking about a
Yes.
guy who doesn't win until they win, then he rattles off wins. Kokrak, you know, I mean, he does certain things, like, really, really well, right? He hits the shit out of it off the tee pretty consistently, and his iron play is quite good, and the putter's been pretty solid, right? So, he won the Houston back in the fall, 17th at the Sony, 26th at the Genesis. I feel like I feel like he's heating up, he's ready to go. At the Arnold Palmer, he's got quite the record here too. He's only got 2 missed cuts in, like, 9 years. I mean, 4 top 10s in 9 years here. Clearly, Kokrak loves this place, and that's only gaining strokes in 3 of these 9 attempts on the putting green, and he's actually he's not that terrible of a putter. He struggled a little bit here on these greens, but tee to green, he's been a stud. 50 to 1 feels like the right number for him. And then speaking of another guy, maybe I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth here.
Yes, maybe you are.
Is Tringali like the American Seabez? I don't know. I feel like Tringali is ready to win. He's got how many top fives has this guy had where he could have done it and he didn't? And I feel like that maybe that's the difference because, a third just a few weeks ago at the Farmers, a second at the Zozo last year, a third at the Valspar last year, a third at the RSM in late 2020. Like the guy has plenty of top fives. He's been in contention. He just never closes the door. But dang it, if his numbers aren't attractive, 65-1 for Tringali. The record at the Arnold Palmer's solid, 4 out of 5 cuts made, but I mean, checks the long iron box. Um, he's like 14th in this field there. I kind of looked at strokes gained putting on these Florida, Bermuda, Tiff Eagle greens. He's 20th in the field in the strokes gained putting on that. Like he just does everything really solid. So I think Tringali is probably another one for me in this range.
Okay. Do you have any interest in Jason Day at
Nope,
65-1?
I don't.
I mean, I remember a few weeks ago you mentioned
I
Jason
know.
Day, and I didn't think you were going to mention him. He's been playing pretty well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his
And
short
he's
game has
obviously he's
bailed him
got a
out
good
everywhere.
history here. He's won this tournament.
I mean,
Uh,
hasn't it been all about his short game? Yes, it has. He's still
I think he's won this
sucking.
tournament. Is that right?
Yes, he did win this
Yeah.
tournament. Um, he is still terrible with his iron play. Terrible. And he's spraying the ball all over the place off the tee.
But
He's saving
he was
himself.
literally in contention just a few
I
weeks ago.
know. Well, okay, so that was a one of those weeks where he gained 3.2 strokes tee to green, and he hadn't done that since July of the year of 2021.
I I feel like I'm gonna get. I feel like I'm gonna have some Jason Day.
I'm sorry. You're gonna be
I like 65-1.
you're gonna be in the tilt your ass off channel of the Nut Hut, on Jason Day come Friday.
Well, oh, come Friday, not even Sunday. You're not even gonna give me till Sunday to sweat out
No, you're gonna be mad
possibly.
about it on Friday.
Okay.
I have a feeling.
All right. Well, that's it for me in this
Yeah,
range. Who else you got?
we named a lot of guys here, but I do this is the
It's a good
range,
yeah, this
and I'm
is
gonna
a
have 3 in the next 2 ranges, so
I have 5 in the next 2 ranges.
okay, one
And
of
you
the
probably have
things
some that are doubled up, I bet.
yeah, we may. Listen here, most of y'all's coffee, this is dull, it's stale, you need to do something different.
Mhm.
It's probably questionably sourced, like you coulda got your coffee for something, but it's easy to get stuck in a rut and drink what you always have. Instead of standing in front of all the options at your grocery store, let our friends at Trade Coffee help you find something new to love, all right? Trade sells the freshest roasted and ethically sourced beans from America's best independent roasters. They ship to you for free and as often as you like in whole or ground. Whether you're a coffee nerd or just want a better, daily cup of brew, Trade's real coffee expert. Taste less. They taste over 400 roasts, and they use technology to match your ideal coffee based on your preferences and brewing method. You go on the website, you take the coffee quiz to get started, and they guarantee you're going to love your first bag, or they'll replace it for free. And the coffee quiz is good. It's detailed. How do you brew it? What do you put in it?
Yep.
What are you drinking it for? What's your machine? Uh, how hot's your wife? Scale of 1 to 10. No, they don't ask you that. Trade has been featured by the New York Times, Wired, GQ, and has delivered over 5 million bags of coffee. Their subscription is a no hassle. It skips shipments. It changes. You can change your frequency or cancel at any time. All right. I'm still drinking my Trade coffee. It's delicious. I put it in my little K cup thing, and you have your fancy machine, and it is what it is.
Oh, let me
Your
tell you something.
elitist coffee maker you have.
Oh, this their coffee is so good. Look, let me tell you, like this coffee maker that I have.
That's about to hijack my ad read to make it 3 minutes.
Let me just tell you, it's a good coffee maker. It rejects bad coffee. It will not let bad coffee go through that. It won't pull a good espresso. And this Trade coffee, it's like it just loves it. It loves it. It's
Okay.
so good.
Well, for our listeners, right now, Trade Coffee is offering a total of $20 off your first 3 bags when you go to drinktrade.com/tour junkies. To get started, take the quiz at drinktrade.com/tour junkies and start your journey to the perfect cup. That's drinktrade.com/tour junkies for $20 off your first 3 bags. Here we go. 75-1 up to about 130-1. I got 2 names, Pat. The first one is my favorite one at 80-1. I'm going to pound this
I
dude
know what this is gonna be.
in DFS, in outright betting, in top 20 betting. I can't wait to see the head-to-head matchups on him manana. Who's it gonna be, Pat? Who do you think it is?
I think it's gonna be Cameron Young.
It is not Cameron
Damn.
Young.
Okay, good. All right, good. That's good.
It's
Okay.
not Cameron Young. It is Mr. Alanto Griffin at 80 to
Eh,
1.
I don't know.
T36 here, his first time out in 2020, T21 last year, and the form is looking very nice right now. Okay. 39th at the Genesis, 16th at the Pebble, 3rd at the Amex. We saw two top sevens back in the fall. Winner on the PGA Tour. I mean, Lanto, he won the Houston Open. Did he win something else, dude? He won the Houston and the another. Didn't he win like a I thought he won 2 events. Why is this only showing 1? I swore he won 2. Anyway, PGA Tour winner, Lanto Griffin. Great iron player, checks the box, long irons too. I'm a big fan of Lanto. I love that 80 to 1 number. I think that's a lot of value for Lanto. And then I'm gonna go with I don't think this is gonna happen, but he just rated out so well in my first little model build that I ran. But Tom Hoagie is 100 to 1.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, in this field, with the model and the time frames I ran, 3rd in approach, 27th in good drives gained, 16th in bogey avoidance. I looked at ball striking at Arnold Palmer over the last few rounds, last few years, 8th there. Long iron play is solid. I mean, obviously he's coming off of his first PGA Tour victory, but Hoagie, Hoagie's looking good at 100 to 1. Like that's a really good value for old Hoagie. He's played here 3 times, missed the cut last year, 15th the year before, 26th the year before that. Those are the only 2 for me in that range. Lonto looks like the better number for him is at MGM and Hoagie on DraftKings right now.
Well, I wasn't really on Lonto, obviously, because I thought you were gonna say Cam Young. I will say, who did you said Hoagie? Hoagie is plus 330 as a top 20, which I think is pretty good. But we can get into that later.
Yeah.
Um, I think Cam Young though is a good play, and last year seemed to be the year of Cam Davis. This year is the year of
Mm,
Cam Young. Okay. If you look at the stats for him heading into this event, he's second in the field in strokes gained off the tee.
he's balling right now for
I
sure.
mean, the dude is balling. He's top 30 in the field in strokes gained putting on Bermuda grass, basically across the field. I mean, top 50 in approach, top 50 in good drives gained, top 50 in bogey avoidance. He's made his last 5 cuts. Um, he's just been extremely solid, across the board. Now he is a rookie to this event. He has not played it before, and I do like a little bit of experience, but you're getting him at 80 to 1. I think that's a good number for him. So I like Cam Young there. I like Denny McCarthy at
Nope.
130 to 1.
Nope, not getting sucked into Denny. Not doing it.
I'm doing Denny. I'm going to do Denny.
Okay.
I'm going to Denny's this week. I'm going to Denny's, and I'm going to get some eggs over medium with some bacon and eggs, and I might even put some fish on the side. Okay,
Ugh,
that's what
God,
that's
would
what
you
I'm gonna
really eat
do.
that?
Some shrimp or something. Maybe not fish. Some shrimp at Denny's. 130 to 1.
You would
I
eat
mean,
shrimp from Denny's?
I don't know. I was just
Are
trying to
you
think of. I
100
was
year how
trying.
old are
I
you
was
turning,
trying
Pat?
to think of the things that come with Denny's. Maybe I'm thinking of Captain.
Denny's has shrimp?
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of Captain D's.
Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, producer Sam just said that should go on the bet wheel. You have to eat shrimp from Denny's. You have to order
I
fish.
bet you shrimp. I bet you Denny's has shrimp though.
You have to
Now,
order.
I would not eat like, if you're gonna have some shrimp from Denny's, if they make it, it's gotta be fried. Like, you can't have some boiled
Sam's
shrimp or
checking the
something.
menu right now. And you can't and if you have to do this, you cannot use any sauces or condiments. You have to take it down
It's
without
gotta
any
be
of that.
fried. There's no way they have anything if they have shrimp on the menu, they don't have anything but fried.
What who who thinking of Denny's goes to shrimp and fish?
Because things were flying around in my head, and I started thinking about Denny's for breakfast, and then I started thinking about, like, does Denny's have dinner? And then Captain D's flew into my head, and I was thinking, "Oh, wait, maybe Denny's is like Captain D's."
Oh god.
I don't even know
Disgusting.
where.
You're a Denny McCarthy. How much you love Denny McCarthy
All
here.
right, 130 to 1 Denny McCarthy. That's all I got. I'm not gonna get into it anymore because that whole conversation just threw me off.
All right.
What doesn't he have a pretty good history here though?
Does he?
Let me find Denny now that
No.
T26 last year missed the cut
So
in 2020. So it's decent, not bad. But yeah. Was Sam found anything out about this video? By the way, he's been playing really well. I mean, you say you want to go, you don't even want anything to do with him. T6 at the American Express, top 15 at Pebble Beach, missed the
okay,
cut at
American Express
Phoenix.
putting contest. That's the words
Okay,
of
still missed
John
the
Rahm.
cut at Phoenix.
John Rahm.
Honda, tough course, T30.
I think that's probably peak Denny at the Honda.
Golden fried shrimp. Yes, at Denny's.
That's killing on the bet wheel. Somebody's gonna take down a platter of golden fried shrimp from Denny's.
And they have scampi. I would
Oh,
probably try scampi. Little butter on that. That's butter shrimp. That's butter shrimp.
you'd
That's
have
what
to
I
have
call it.
all the butter in Denny's.
I don't even call it scampi. I just call it butter shrimp.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. That's what it. Yeah, that's just what I call it.
Your mom's butter shrimp. I don't.
Okay,
Okay, get moving on to the
let's
long
go.
shots.
I have two in here.
I got one, and
Are
his
you gonna
name is.
steal mine?
Okay, no, you go ahead. I don't want to steal yours. Go.
All right, I have two. Did I say one? I have two.
You said two.
I have Andrew Putnam at 150 to 1.
Okay.
T4 last year. Um, you look at
You look at.
he's got he's got some stats. He's got some stats that add up. Top 10 in strokes gained approach. He is 20th in good drives game. Top 10 putting on Bermuda. So I do like Andrew Putnam there. Here's a guy that sucks when it comes to stats, but he's actually played fairly well recently, and he's a pretty good long shot. And that is Mr. Bo Hostler at
Mm.
200 to 1. Just look how he's played recently.
Yeah, he's played good for Bo Hostler.
T16 at the Honda,
Mm-hmm.
T48 at Genesis,
Mm-hmm.
third at Pebble Beach. I know it's a totally different course than what we're getting right now, but I mean, Bo Hostler's playing well.
Mm-hmm.
200 to 1.
Yeah, I mean,
Throw
okay.
a dollar on that.
Yeah. No, I would not have stolen any either one of those from you. My one play here is at 150 to 1 on DraftKings. He is a PGA Tour winner. Uh, his name is Carlos Ortiz.
Ooh, okay.
27th in this field in strokes gained approach, 55th in good drives gained. Ball striking at Bay Hill has been solid in his attempts here. Checks a box in like the long iron, mid iron game. Got enough pop in the bat that I think he'll be able to approach these greens with shorter clubs, higher lofted ball flights, hold these firm and fast greens, get over all these forced carries. Carlos Ortiz can be a killer when he's on, and he's doing okay. I mean, didn't have great showings at the Phoenix and Genesis. I mean, 33rd, 39th. He was terrible around the greens, but the ball striking, the iron play's been there. You know, if he can come up with a little bit of magic around the greens, Carlos Ortiz could win. He's a stud. So I mean, runner up at the Mayakoba, in the fall. I mean, Mayakoba, what an event that is. Winner of the Houston Open. I guess I'm really liking Houston Open winners this week with Lanto and Carlos Ortiz. So maybe there's something to that. All right, that's it for me. No more outright picks. Let's talk about our favorite outright bets that we just mentioned. Like, give me the favorite ones, the ones you got to jump on early, the ones we think that, the line could get shorter, and 2 or 3, 4 maybe of your favorite top 20s presented by covers.com. Winning starts at Covers. Start your sports betting process at covers.com and check out our free article that drops on Tuesday afternoons. Top 20s head to heads that we like over there. But we threw out a few names, some outright names that we like. But who are the favorites, Pat? Who are the ones you like the most? If the ones you think have the best chance of cashing, at a good number, or do you think are going to get shorter?
Well, I will start with Decky. I think Decky is one at 25 to 1 that could end up a little bit shorter. I don't think it'll get shorter than 20 to 1, but I love Decky this year. I think, like you mentioned, if he just has, he's been great tee to green on this course, has a good putting week. I think he can win. So 25-1 Hideki. Will Zalatoris, I like him as well. I think you see him at that 30-1 number, but I really feel like that's going to end up shorter at 25-1, and in that range. So if you can get him at 30-1, I would go ahead and jump on that now. And finally, I will say, I'm not going to go too long because I love that 25 to 75-1 range. I'm still, again, I like Seabass. I like Bazudenhout right there at 55-1. I don't know if that number is going to get shorter, but I was on him last week. He didn't win for me, which I was okay. I was fine with Straka winning, but I'm going to go back on him this week, and so those are my three favorites there: Hideki, Zalatoris, and Seabass.
Okay. I agree with you on Hideki and Zalatoris. I think my 3 favorites would be Keith Mitchell at 45-1. Yeah, I mean, dude's really hot right now. Obviously, loves playing in the Southeast on that Bermuda. Plenty of distance. Keith Mitchell could rattle off another win here very easily, and I think 45 is going to get shorter. That's on DraftKings for now. Jason Kokrak at 50-1.
I like that one.
I feel like that one's another just supreme value on a player that has a great record here, is rounding into form a little bit here as he's had a few events under his belt to get warmed up, get heated up, ready for a good run in 2022. He's been honest about all the Saudi stuff, so he doesn't have to worry about, I mean, at least he's come out and said, "Yeah, I'm playing for the money." So he's not like in Phil's situation, so he's probably doing okay. And then I think Lonto Griffin at 80-1 is another one of just my favorite values. Lonto played well here a couple times. The form is solid. The long iron play is very good. PGA Tour winner. So I think Lonto Griffin at 80-1 is the other value for me. In the top 20 market, I will go Keith Mitchell plus 150 for a top 20. Feels like a lock. Just feels like a lock. Like that's a lock. I can't go a betting show when someone who checks all the boxes that they check, okay, all the boxes that they do check. I can't go a betting show without mentioning Luke List. So I'll mention him at plus 240 as a top 20 here. I mean, just in his last 4 attempts at Bay Hill, he's got a T10, a T7, a T17. Luke, huh? What do you say? I mean, yeah, after he won the Farmers and we hit him at 75-1, he went 53rd, miscut. That's not great, but ball striking still been solid. Tee to green still solid. It's all about that putter. Let's see what can happen with Luke. Plus 240, top 20. And then I'm going to go Keegan Bradley at plus
Oh,
350. Keegan, oh, Keegan. Now, I mean, Keegan can be one of the more frustrating players to bet on, roster, whatever. He's been playing here since 2011. He's missed 1 cut, okay? He's got 3 top 20s in his attempts here at the Arnold Palmer. And recent form, not bad. 12th at the Sony, 26th at the Phoenix Open was probably his those are his best 2 starts in 2022. Ball striking's there, putter's not. Story of Keegan's life, story of golf bettors is that they love Keegan Bradley from a stat standpoint, and then he disappoints them. But plus 350, I'll take a ride. And then one more top 20 bet. This one's going to shock you, Pat. And this one's deep. This one's 6-1. Okay. 6-1, top 20. Danny Willett.
Ooh.
Danny Willett.
I don't mind that. I
You
don't
like little
mind it.
Danny Willett. I know you do.
Yeah. Danny
Decent record.
Willette.
You say Danny Willett. Yes. Decent record at the API. In 4 attempts, made 3 cuts. 31st, 18th, and 29th are what he's done here at Bay Hill. Played last week, and I liked what I saw. The putter was terrible. It was really bad. But tee to green gained 5.6 strokes, gained off the tee, gained with the irons. And he's always been a bad putter, but he's not been, I mean, like last week was really bad. So you would think like, okay, getting used to some things on the Tiff Eagle Bermuda, let's he's shaking the rust off his Tiff Eagle Bermuda prowess. So now he's going to go right back to another course with Tiff Eagle Bermuda, where he's actually gained strokes putting 2 out of his 4 attempts at the Arnold Palmer. He's actually gained strokes putting. So that's tough for him to do. So Danny Willett 6-1, that's a long shot.
Okay. Um, All right, a few top 20s for me. I like Cam Young, as I mentioned, as an outright. I still like him also as a top 20, obviously. Plus 330 there on that number. He's got three top 15s, I mean, three top 20s in his last 5 events. So Cam Young there, I think that is a good play. I like Tom Hoagie, who you mentioned earlier, at plus 330. I think that's a good top 20. And then old Party Marty Laird
Whoa.
is at plus 450 for a top 20. Now, here's the thing about Martin Laird. If you're going to throw a model together, he's gonna end up in your model. I guarantee you. Whatever stats you look at, he's going to be top 10 in your model, except for putting, which is really. By the way, has he withdrawn? Because you were smiling at me like you're like, oh
No,
my,
no, no. I'm
I'm about to slam Pat because he's freaking withdrawn. Um,
uh,
but playing well recently. Did have a top 15 finish at the Phoenix Open. So I think old Party Marty could be an interesting play here, and I believe he has actually a decent course history here. If you look at the last few years here, let me find him here. T49 in 2017, top 26 in 2018, miscut in 2019, T43 in 2021. But plus 450, he gets hot with the putter this week.
okay.
I think Party Marty could be a decent play there.
All right, there's some long shot top 20s for you for sure. And the outrights that we think you need to jump on now, presented by Covers. Go to covers.com. All right, Pat, let's get to the final segment of the betting show tonight, the prize picks segment. Of course, you'll have the fantasy golf sommelier out next week, or not next week, tomorrow night or Wednesday morning, I guess. What's today? Freaking Monday? Yeah.
It'll come out Wednesday morning.
It'll come out Wednesday morning. You'll have your round one prize picks plays, fantasy golf sommelier video. Great video. Check that out on YouTube. Last week we didn't do so good, Pat. I went the prize picks segment on the show went 1-2. FGS went 1-2-1. That was your first losing week on FGS, but you've been pretty solid there. This week,
I
let's
think I hit my play on the show,
you did?
Palmer,
Yeah, I think you did.
because
You did hit your
I
prize.
did not include him in the FGS. So
Oh, dang it. Okay.
so
Yeah,
if
you did hit it.
if you count that, it was 2-2-1. But
There you
anyway,
go. Not a losing record.
all right. Here's my play. Look now, if you
One
look
play.
right,
One play.
if you look right now, I feel like the total strokes are a little off right now for day one. Now, I have not looked at the weather, and maybe you talked about the weather a little bit on the course breakdown. I don't even know. Um, but they're a little high for me right now. Really across the board. But I mentioned Willie Z, so Will Zalatoris being I'm a big fan of him this week.
Yeah.
He's at 71.5, okay, for total strokes for day one. I'm going to take the under on
Yeah.
that. I think he can at least shoot 2 under on this course as a par 72. So Willie Z at 71.5 is going to be
I
my
love that.
play this night.
Absolutely love that, Pat. Fantastic job there. I actually had a Willie Z play as well. I'll save it. You talked about Sung J M earlier. I like the Sung J over 11.5 greens in regulation
Mm.
deal for Thursday. I mean, obviously, you talked about how well Sung J has played this event before. 2 third place finishes in a 21st. Tee to green has been very good at this event. And Sung Jae's a tee to green guy anyway. And even though he did miss the cut last week, I think he still gained strokes tee to green. He just he had a very bad putting week. So I like the over 11.5. So to hit 12 out of 18 greens in reg, I think that's doable for Sung Jae for sure. He's going to
Yeah.
hit a lot of fairways, and he just doesn't make a lot of really bad mistakes with his irons. So I like that. And then I'm gonna give you an under because the unders are hard to find, but I'm gonna give you an under, and it's on a guy that I went off on last week, and I was right. He sucked. Old Tommy Cankles, Tommy
Yes.
Fleetwood. Tommy Fleetwood missed the cut. He was the second guy off the betting board last week at 16-1, which I said was stupid. Now, if you look at Tommy, Tommy has Tommy has played well here before, very, very well, just like he had
Yeah.
last week at the Honda. But he's not been the same. He has not been the same. The over under on fairways hit for Tommy on round 1 is at 9.5 fairways out of 14 fairways, and I'm going to take the under on that. The average for this event, the greens and regulation number is pretty difficult compared to other PGA Tour events, but actually, the fairways haven't been that hard to hit because a lot of guys club down here. I don't know that Tommy clubs down as much as others, but the average fairways hit just in total since 2015 from everyone is at 9.5. It's like 60 something percent. It comes out to 9.5. So it's right at average, right? So PrizePicks has set the line dead average. One of the interesting things I looked at is on Fantasy National, you can look at fairways gained, right? And if you just looked at fairways gained from, like, let's say the last 24, 12, whatever recent rounds, a guy like Adam Scott is going to be way off the mark on that. He's going to be like 90th in the field, right? If you and Tommy Fleetwood's going to be pretty decent. If you go down and you just say, give me Bay Hill the last like 3 or 4 years fairways hit, and Adam Scott becomes pretty good, and Tommy Fleetwood, not so good. Tommy Fleetwood, 54th in this field in the last 3 years in fairways gained at Bay Hill. Adam Scott, for example, 38th. They literally flip-flopped when you took all the courses in the last, couple tournaments together versus Bay Hill. Why is that? Well, I think because Adam Scott hits the ball a long way, so he clubs down, probably more often or better than Tommy Fleetwood does at Bay Hill. He hits more fairways. Tommy apparently doesn't do that. Then he's 54th in this field. So I'm taking the under. Tommy Ladd under on fairways, and watch him hit like 14 freaking fairways, and I look like an idiot.
Let me tell
That
you
just
something.
ain't
I was
obvious.
all anti Fleetwood last week on PrizePicks, and I believe I took the under on fairways for him in the FGS. I could be wrong, and I think he beat me by 1 fairway.
Of course he did. Yeah. Okay. Great.
So it's gonna be a sweat for you, but I think it's a good play. It's a good play,
I
but
made
I
a
think you're
sound
gonna.
argument.
You did make a great
That's what
argument, but it's still gonna end up being a sweat for you.
Okay. There we go. There you have it. That's the betting show for the Arnold Palmer Invitational 2022. We're going to head over to the DraftKings show here in just a minute. Be sure and leave a comment. Your favorite thing about Pat. It's his birthday on Tuesday. Happy birthday, Pat. Thank you for being you. And listen, everybody, let's have a great week. Let's hit another winner. You know what I mean? Congrats to Pat, 140 to 1. It's his birthday week now. He's got to hit another winner. This
Let's
has
do
got
it.
to
Yeah,
happen.
gotta hit it. Let's
All right.
go.
Time to bend over your bookie. See ya. Out.
We're the tour junkies. We're the tour junkies. PGA Tour fanatics, golf addicts, podcast juice, you gotta have it. Special guest, DFS, DB, and them long shot bets. From Augusta to Sawgrass, we got your picks, we got your stats. Catch a buzz, catch a laugh, sip some rose with Pat. Tour junkies.